What's up, J Fusion fans? This is Phil with another video on Kamen Rider Saber, because why not? So, in the previous two videos, talking about the final forms of Kamen Rider Saber, if you guys haven't watched them, I'm gonna link them both down in the description so you guys can have more context as to what I am going to talk about. So, in the first one, I talked about Cross Saber, and then in the following video, I talked about Wonder Almighty. So now, imagine what would happen if we actually combined these two forms. So, to summarize a bit of the story, especially in the final battle, spoilers by the way, if you haven't seen that one yet, I mean, it's been more than a year since Kamen Rider Saber came out, and it's been almost a year since it ended, so I guess there's a lot of time for you guys to catch up and watch the whole series if you haven't, or at least watch the final few episodes if we're just going to skip to that. But anyways, so uh, in at least the final few episodes, we see Touma. I think it was either episode 46, if I remember correctly. So it was episode 46, more or less. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Toma throws the cross saber, right? So it hits the tower that's channeling all the evil energy that Storius needs in order to complete his ritual or his spell that will basically end the world. So Toma, by throwing the cross saber or the Haouken Xross Saber onto that monolith, it kind of disrupts the spell, so giving him time to fight off Storius, albeit the spell eventually works and the world was going to end anyway. However, thanks to the Wonder Almighty Ride Book or Wonder Ride Book, Toma was actually able to rewrite the world and bring back everyone. So, yeah, anyways, enough of that story. So, you know, let's say for all intents and purposes, uh, Luna was able to give Toma a copy of the Haouken Xross Saber, so that the one that Toma threw onto the monolith in order to stop Storius's spell, you know, you know, it's still there, right? So if maybe if we took out the cross saber, the spell would still accelerate. So again, with the sword in the stone, the spell at least slowed down, like I've said, giving enough time to fight Storius and defeat him. So again, let's imagine Luna gave Toma a copy of the Haouken Xross Saber, and he still also got the Wonder Almighty. So we can imagine that theoretically they are, usable. So what kind of form are we going to get? Drumroll, please. It's still a recolored Brave Dragon suit. Like, there's no way I could ever think of, a better explanation to that. I have seen online a few images of fan made designs, which are okay, but yeah, those are too over the top in my opinion. Like, again, it's a hodgepodge of all the suits, which, again, you know, it won't make sense for Toei and or Bandai to actually put a lot of money into a suit that's going to be used only once, right? So imagine, again, for all intents and purposes. So I'm gonna get here my trusty Sodo figures because they kind of illustrate this point the best. Now, of course, this is just the regular Brave Dragon, but it's also the form used for the Wonder Almighty Brave Dragon. So yeah, this looks like this, and this is actually the Crimson Saber Cross Saber. Uh, but yeah, Crimson Dragon Cross Saber. But either way, it's still gonna be the same thing. You're gonna get a recolored Brave Dragon. So, it's still colored like the Cross Saber. It just has, the Wonder Almighty Ride Book on the belt. Nothing really special about that, really. But you know what? Hey, it's still going to be a way more powerful form, in my opinion. Actually, like the stats of at least the original cross saber, just the brave dragon cross saber. So there are about like 66 tons punching power and like about 110 tons kicking power, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say, for example, compare that to the Wonder Almighty. So Wonder Almighty is actually stronger in those regards. Again, Wonder Almighty is a way boosted Brave Dragon in terms of offensive stats in general. So yeah, uh, it's just the Brave Dragon, but way stronger, really. Now, let's say we combine the powers of the Haouken Xross Saber and the Wonder Almighty Ride Book. So how strong would Touma be? Now, of course, it never really happened that we combined the Haouken Xross Saber and the Wonder Almighty Ride Book, but I think it's safe to say that whatever amalgamation this is, or like repainted suit, stats wise, it's still going to be way more powerful than you would expect. I mean, the one, like, the Wonder Almighty Ride Book alone already gives Toma basically godlike powers. He basically is chosen to become not necessarily a god, but rather a guardian of the Wonder World, but he's still going to possess like godlike qualities. So, with that said, the Haouken Xross Saber is also a pretty powerful weapon. Now, think of it like this. So, uh, Kamen Rider Gaim, Kiwami Arms, right? So, it's jokingly, because of that, Kota Kazuraba was jokingly called the Fruit Jesus because of that. So, Toma, I guess undergoing something similar would be called the Book Jesus because of that. Because, well, uh, basically the power that Toma uses comes from the Wonder Ride books. Although, yes, the Seiken, the Seikens are also a source of power, so you can also say that he's a sword Jesus as well. But with that said, so the Haouken Xross Saber is already a sword that has the power of creation, which is why when it made its debut, it was able to undo the destruction that could basically end the whole world that was used by Kamen Rider Solomon. Uh, so we have Solomon here, by the way. So yeah, how can Cross Saber was able to undo the potential destruction that this guy would have caused? And I know he's not Storius, and Storius was kind of able to do that on his own, but potentially Master Logos could have destroyed the whole world in episode 38. But again, thanks to Cross Saber, that kind of disaster was avoided, right? So, you know, it's gonna be quite redundant if you ask me, actually, because we can say that the book of omnipotence is a book that has the power of creation, and according to the lore of Kamen Rider Saber in general, the world is uh, basically created from that. The world is basically created from the Book of Omnipotence, and again, having a sword, the cross saber, the Haouken Xross Saber, being a sword of creation. So yeah, it it would kind of cement the Toma's uh, godlike potential. So it is an interesting thought, nonetheless, to imagine, the combination of Haouken Xross Saber and the Wonder Almighty Right book. But who knows? Maybe Touma could surpass, I don't know, like Homa Geo or Geo Oma form, because really, so far, no one has surpassed the Kamen Rider Geo in terms of like actual power. Although he's not really godlike in a sense, but he is the most powerful Kamen Rider, technically speaking. So who knows what kind of powers Toma would get by combining these two. So yeah, no, I'm sorry if this video sounds crazy to you guys. I know, but I've kind of had this thought lately, and I do wanted to make a video about it. I do wanted to make a video about this, but uh, you know, just some random thought that popped up in my head, and I just want to talk about it. I just want to get it out there, even though it doesn't sound coherent. I understand. I'm not making any sense here, but that's just me. I just want to say something. So sorry about that again. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Again, links down in the description to the previous two videos. So I'm pretty sure this is not the final video I'm gonna make regarding Kamen Rider Saber, because there could be a lot more things that I could talk about. Really, like I've been rewatching episodes, and you know interestingly, you'd be able to find some bits here and there that you probably haven't noticed if you only watch it once. So, what rewatching the entire series again actually helps me look into the details a bit closer. So, definitely there would be more saber related videos in the future. So, well, anyways, again, thank you so much for watching. As always, please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JE Fusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video.